sleeps, which was good. And yeah, it's a good day. It's a good day. Got some writing done, got some reading done, got some snackaroos from my sales training today. So that was fun. I actually got a ride back from the sales training today. So that was way good. So if you're willing to put in the work, you will 100%, you'll feel good about that. So that's beautiful. Had a pretty good lunch too. Just feeling really blessed and grateful, which is good. Going to be doing what you call it? Going to be doing words. Going to be going to a friend's house to play some Call of Duty. So that'll be fun. Excited for that. We might read some Atomic Habits today. That sounds like a vibe. Read some Atomic Habits. I think that would be a good vibe. Let's find Atomic Habits in my room. I think the other really beautiful thing that I did today for myself was I made some time to play some video games. That was a lot of fun. So I got to play some video games today. I played some Super Mario. So that was fun. Because I just like that game a lot. And there's a lot of good memories to it. And I think the last time, like, I had a file back on my GameCube or the Wii at home, playing it on the Wii. But I haven't like played through it in a while. So it's like all this stuff is kind of like just brings back the memories. So feeling very blessed today and grateful. Just kind of a reminder. I mean, it's just the reminder of just the goodness of just doing good things. Just doing the good things that are good. When you're doing the good things that are good, like you're just gonna be feeling good. It's gonna be a good day. So that's it. Rumi going. You playing some Call of Duty with a friend at 5. We're just doing good. We're not forcing anything. We're just chilling. Yeah, we were at 1K. We keep hitting 1K and then somebody unsubscribes. So I've been at 1K a couple times already. Yeah, somebody unsubscribes, but that's okay. We're still vibing. But yeah, today I made a little promise to myself to play some video games at 10 a.m. no matter what. Skittle, what's up? Rat shooting, what's up? So I made a promise I was going to play some video games at 10. So I got as much writing as I could get done. And then no matter what, I dropped everything and I played some Paper Mario at 10. That was super fun. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. That felt good. Felt good. Of all the other things, I think sometimes you can feel like you can shame yourself into working, which I guess it works, but I don't think that's the best way to do it. I think it's better to feel like some level of joy with it or excitement. Anticipation. One of my fellow content creators just died. His name is Jax VR. Well, rest in peace to Jax VR, Skittle. Gotta cherish every day. That is for real, for real. We're gonna read about the reward system, probably, because it's funsies, interesting. Yeah. Anyway, that's messed up. Then you subscribe to. You're a very good guy. Well, I appreciate that, Creed. We're doing our thing. We're doing our thing. Things are heating up. Getting ready for Chicago. It's been a good day. Feeling good. Doing good things. Meeting new people. Vibing. That's what we're doing. We're just moving along. Had a good walk to work today. Met some new people. It's good. It's good stuff when you're doing the good thing that you need to do. Rest in peace. He's in a better place now. My friend lost his mom 2 years ago. Yeah, it's a tough one. Way, way, way tough. Yeah. Today's like day 37 in a row of daily YouTube live streams. So that's great. Um, but yeah, I actually watched this. I was listening to this podcast episode clip about from James Clear, and it's basically talking about how he tries to exercise a couple hours after he wakes up, and then Andrew Huberman was actually talking about how that's the optimal time, because like your brain's more awake and stuff. So like, oh yeah, it's interesting, and it was interesting because he's like, oh yeah, around 9, 10 a.m. and I wake up at 7. I got up at it was a little bit before. Was it around 7? I think it was like 7:45. It's like around 7:45 today. So, yeah. Then I just did some writing, which is good, and I played some video games. I think that's good because it'll make it so I'm playing video games each day, but not so much that I'm like, playing too much. My iPad is about to die. I'm staying as long as I can. That's commitment. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, just building things up. We did some role plays today at work. We talked about some other stuff. It was good. I got some snacks. That's good. It's good stuff. Yeah. We're going to read a little bit from page 103 in Atomic Habits. A primary goal of food science is to create products that are more attractive to consumers. Nearly every food in a bag, box, or jar has been enhanced in some way, if only with additional flavoring. Companies spend millions of dollars to discover the most satisfying level of crunch in a potato chip or the perfect amount of fizz in a soda. Entire departments are dedicated to optimizing how a product feels in your mouth, a quality known as oral sensation. French fries, for example, are a potent combination: golden brown and crunchy on the outside, light and smooth on the inside. This is interesting. I don't think people think about this. It's like there's literal, like, you think of like a marketing team. You have people over different parts of the marketing, social media, launches, who's over the podcast. They got all these other things. When it comes to like a food company, you have literal departments that are over different parts of amount of fizz in a soda or the crunch in a potato chip, or making sure like the Oro sensation team makes sure it feels good in your mouth. Like that's pretty good attention to detail, but that's the kind of attention to detail that makes Pepsi, that makes a lot of these companies on top and keeps them on top. So yeah, things are good. We're chilling. Other processed foods enhance dynamic contrast, which refers to items of a combination of sensations like crunchy and creamy. Or the crunch of an Oreo. Imagine the gooiness of melted cheese on top of a crispy pizza crust, or the crunch of an Oreo cookie combined with its smooth center. With natural, unprocessed foods, you tend to experience the same sensations over and over. How's that 17th bite of kale taste? After a few minutes, your brain loses interest and you begin to feel full. But foods that are high in dynamic contrast keep the experience novel and interesting, encouraging to eat more. Which is very interesting because there's sometimes where it's like you're like, oh, I'm super hungry. But once you have a couple things of beans or lentils, which I absolutely do not like lentils at all, it's like I have a couple bites of lentils and my brain is like, please, no more. Well, I'm still hungry. I just have no hunger for lentils whatsoever. So there you go. Ultimately, such strategies enable food scientists to find the bliss point for each product, the precise combination of salt, sugar, and fat that excites your brain, keeps you coming back for more. The result, of course, is that you overeat because hyperpalatable foods are more attractive to the human brain. As Stephen Guyonnet, a neuroscientist who specializes in eating behavior and obesity, says, we've gone too good at pushing our own buttons. It's interesting. You have to find they have to find the right combination of the salt, sugar, and the fat, which has this brain effect, and then it keeps you coming back, and it has that dynamic contrast, which keeps it interesting, as opposed to like carrots and stuff that's like can be super duper boring. But honestly, carrots are pretty good by themselves. So interesting. So like extending this out to like your own habits, the idea is to make it more interesting and less less, obviously, less interesting, less boring, more interesting, less boring. But it could also be like other things that have to do with whatever you're wanting to accomplish. So, yeah. Let's see. The modern food industry and overeating habits that has spawned is just one example of the second law of behavior change: make it attractive. The more attractive an opportunity is, the more likely it is to become habit forming. Look around. Society is filled with highly engineered versions of reality that are more attractive than the world our ancestors evolved in. Stores feature mannequins with exaggerated hips and breasts to sell clothes. Social media delivers more likes and praise in a few minutes than we could ever get in the office or at home. Online porn splices together stimulating scenes at a rate that'd be impossible to replicate in real life. Advertisements are created with a combination of ideal lighting, professional makeup, and photoshopped edits. Even the model doesn't look like the person in the final image. These are the supernormal stimuli of our modern world. They exaggerate features that are naturally attractive to us, and our instincts go wild as a result, driving us into excessive shopping habits, social media habits, porn habits, eating habits, and many others. If history serves as a guide, the opportunities of the future will be more attractive than those of today. Good to keep in mind. The trend is for rewards to become more concentrated and for stimuli to become more enticing. Junk food is a more concentrated form of calories than natural foods. Hard liquor is a more concentrated form of alcohol than beer. Video games are a more concentrated form of play than board games. Compared to nature, these pleasure-packed experiences are hard to resist. We have the brains of our ancestors, but temptations they never had to face. I think I'll say that last part again. We have the brains of our ancestors, but temptations they never had to face. Very, very interesting. If you want to increase the odds that behavior will occur, then you need to make it attractive. Throughout our discussion of the second law, our goal is to learn how to make our habits irresistible. While it's not possible to transform every habit into a supernormal stimulus, we can make any habit more enticing. To do this, we must understand what a craving is and how it works. So, it's good stuff. We begin by examining a biological signature that all habits share: the dopamine spike. The dopamine-driven feedback loop. Scientists can track the precise moment a craving occurs by measuring a neurotransmitter called dopamine. The importance of dopamine became apparent in 1954 when the neuroscientists James Olds and Petner Milner ran an experiment that revealed the neurological processes behind craving and desire. By implanting electrodes in the brains of rats, the researchers blocked the release of dopamine. To the surprise of the scientists, the rats lost all will to live. They wouldn't eat, they wouldn't have sex, they wouldn't crave anything. Within a few days, the animals died of thirst. In follow-up studies, other scientists also inhibited the dopamine-releasing parts of the brain, but this time they squirted little droplets of sugar into the mouths of the dopamine-depleted rats. Their little rat faces light up with pleasurable grins from the tasty substance. Even though dopamine was blocked, they liked the sugar just as much as before. They just didn't want it anymore. The ability to experience pleasure remained, but without dopamine, desire died. Without desire, action stopped. So basically the scientists somehow were able to block the dopamine parts of the brain and still provided something that had dopamine, but because there was no way for them to feel it, the ability to experience pleasure remained. Without dopamine, desire died. Without desire, action stopped. Makes you kind of think about ADHD, which has you makes it more difficult to experience dopamine because your dopamine receptors are like lower. You don't get as much out of different things. You need more stimulus to have a similar effect, which is very humbling, quite humbling when you're trying to do good in the world and you have a brain and sometimes you just don't have desire because you have this dopamine deficit, but it is what it is. What's up, Jonathan? I hope you're good. When other researchers reversed this process and flooded the reward system with the brain with dopamine, animals performed habits at breakneck speed. In one study, mice received a powerful hit of dopamine each time they poked their hole in a box. or their nose in a box. Within minutes, the mice developed a craving so strong they began poking their nose into the box 800 times per hour. Humans are not so different. The average slot machine player will spin the wheel 600 times per hour. Habits are a dopamine-driven feedback loop. Every behavior that is highly habit-forming, taking drugs, eating junk food, playing video games, browsing social media is associated with higher levels of dopamine. The same can be said for most basic habitual behaviors like eating food, drinking water, having sex, and interacting socially. For years, scientists assumed dopamine was all about pleasure. But now we know it plays a central role in many neurological processes, including motivation, learning and memory, punishment and aversion, and voluntary movement. When it comes to habits, the key takeaway is this. What's up? Like Gorilla Tag, what's up, dude? Eclipse Creative is back. Hello. We're just reading from one of the greatest books, for real. Atomic Habits by James Clear. When it comes to habits, the key takeaway is this. Dopamine is released not only when you experience pleasure, but also when you anticipate it. Gaming addicts have a dopamine spike right before they place a bet, not after they win. Cocaine addicts get a surge of dopamine when they see the powder, not after they take it. Whenever you predict that an opportunity will be rewarding, your levels of dopamine spike in anticipation. Whenever dopamine rises, so does your motivation to act. It is the anticipation of a reward, not the fulfillment of it, that gets us to take action. Guess your favorite book? I don't know. Yeah, the Bible's a good guess. I don't know. 100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozy. Jackie Paul, what's up? Sup. It's a comic. Superman, the many epic adventures of Superman, the Super Amazing Deluxe Edition, 50th anniversary. Yeah, that's cool. Spider-Man's cool. How are you? Hello, Jonathan. I hope you are doing fantastic. Can anybody hear me? Can you hear me? No, not like them ones. I didn't turn off my. I still might have my Bluetooth headphones on. You can hear me? Okay. Well, as long as you can hear me, that's important. Not Marvel ones. Spider-Man's cool though. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Interestingly, the reward system that is activated in the brain when you receive a reward is the same system that is activated when you anticipate a reward. This is one reason the anticipation of an experience can often feel better than the attainment of it. As a child, thinking about Christmas morning can be better than opening the gifts. As an adult, daydreaming about an upcoming vacation can be more enjoyable than actually being on vacation. Scientists refer to this as the difference between wanting and liking. It's a novel. I'm able to tune in for a bit. That's good. I'm so glad to hear that, Jonathan. That's beautiful. Dogman? Dude, that's such a flipping good one. I watched the movie. Yes. Gorilla Tag. Yes. What a vibe. What a good movie. I remember, so I'm pretty sure I've read the original Dogman, and I've read For Whom the Ball Rolls, which is a pun on For Whom the Bell Tolls. I've read that one. I've been wanting to read more of the Dogman, but yeah, Dogman's legit. Dave Pilkey, legit, legend. Beautiful thing with Dave Pilkey is that he's willing to change it up, right? You got Lil PD. Yeah, Lil PD's awesome. Have you seen the movie? You've seen the movie, right? Like on Netflix? So good. I love Mario. Mario's a great stuff. I have New Super Mario Bros. 2. I have Mario Kart and stuff. Got a Switch. Yeah, Mario's great. I grew up playing a lot of Smash Bros. And Mario Kart. I had a gaming channel back in the day, making gaming videos. You like WWE? Not really, but I understand. It's just not something I vibe with. Just not really something I grew up with. More of a basketball guy. You went to the cinema as soon as it came out? That's so epic. I'm gonna go see it tomorrow. So I'm excited. I remember I watched the first one in theaters with family. So I'm excited to watch it. That'll be fun. Okay, so now we have the dopamine spike. So basically we have all that stuff. So the Q craving, and my roommate just said he loves gambling, so there we go. It goes along with the same. We were actually just talking about it. The average slot player will to do the thing 600 times an hour. I think I'm not really one to gamble at all, but I think it's very similar. It's like when you get on social media, you check your messages over and over again. There's a dopamine response. It's the anticipation, all that other stuff. It can get really easy to get hooked into whatever the thing is. It's way too easy. You have a nice house. This is an apartment, but I appreciate that. Yeah, I have a couple roommates. And then I'll be moving to Chicago pretty soon to do door-to-door pest control. Do I like science? I'm really fascinated by the brain. Very fascinated by the brain because I have ADHD, which very fascinating to me. I'm not the biggest fan of all science, but there's some science I'm really curious about. Like neuroscience is interesting. My name's Dallin. Yeah, you can find my channel. Talk about trusting God and all that other good stuff. We're just vibing. We do 30-minute live stream every day. Today's day like 36 in a row, I think. You like history? That's cool. All right. We'll read this figure 9 thing. Before a habit is learned, dopamine is released when the reward is experienced for the first time. The next time around, dopamine rises before taking action, immediately after a cue is recognized. This spike leads to a feeling of desire and a craving to take action whenever the cue is spotted. Once a habit is learned, dopamine will not rise when a reward is experienced because you already expect the reward. However, if you see a cue and expect a reward but do not get one, then dopamine will drop in disappointment. The sensitivity of the dopamine response can clearly be seen when a reward is provided late. First, the cue is identified and dopamine rises as the craving builds. Next, a response is taken, but the reward does not come as quickly as expected. Dopamine begins to drop. Finally, when the reward comes a little later than you had hoped, dopamine spikes again as if the brain is saying, "See, I knew I was right. Don't forget to repeat this action next time." So this is a great one thing to keep in mind if you're trying to let go of any habit that you don't really want to have. A lot of it's about delaying gratification. Could be with anything. Like maybe you're checking your phone too much. Finding a way to delay that will be better. And you'll also just feel better about everything too when you're not checking it over and over again. So you love learning about coal mines since I'm from England and the Battle of Hastings. That's cool. I've heard a little bit of about the Battle of Hastings. So that's cool. Nice. Let's see. How far have we read? Yeah. Your brain is far more neural circuitry allocated for wanting rewards than for liking them. The wanting centers in the brain are large. The brainstem, the nucleus accumbens, the ventral tegmental end area, the dorsal striatum. we're nailing all these pronunciations. The amygdala and portions of the prefrontal cortex. By comparison, the liking centers of the brain are much smaller. They're often referred to as hedonic hotspots and are distributed like tiny islands throughout the brain. For instance, researchers have found that 100% of the nucleus accumbens is activated during wanting. Meanwhile, only 10% of the structure is activated during liking. The fact that the brain allocates so much precious space to the regions responsible for craving and desire provides further evidence of the crucial role these processes play. Desire is the engine that drives behavior. Every action is taken because the anticipation that precedes it is the craving that leads to the response. And it's just like his thing is like cue, craving, response, reward. These insights reveal the importance of the second law of behavior change. We need to make our habits attractive because it's the anticipation of a rewarding, expectation of a rewarding experience that motivates us to act in the first place. This is where strategy knows temptation bundling comes into play. Yeah, the expectation of rewarding experience. So this is kind of something I've done is that I've included doing the playing the video games at 10 a.m. no matter what. That's definitely something that makes me want to do more good things beforehand. If I know I'm going to have a pleasurable, enjoyable experience while playing the video games. So reading is very good for the mind. Absolutely. Obviously, it depends on what you're reading. There's a lot of wacko stuff out there. But if you're reading something that is generally good for your goals or helping you get closer where you want to be, it can be very helpful. You like reading the American Revolutionary War? Not so much. Remember there's a show called Liberty Kids I used to read growing up, or watch growing up, and so that was fun. And I've read some stuff from like social studies textbooks, but that's kind of it. But that's cool. Well, Fox Finding Life, we're just here. We're reading from some Atomic Habits, and I go live on YouTube every day for at least 30 minutes to talk about life and something else that's going on. So that's what's going on. You don't really know anything about American history. That's okay. That's a beautiful thing. We have the chance to learn, and the brain has all these different abilities to remake itself and to have the neuroplasticity to remember things and to change what it focuses on, what it like values more. And I think that's a lot of what we go through when we're going from one season to the next. You're learning to appreciate, you're trying to learning to let go of certain things to appreciate more the new things. Much love from New Zealand. Thank you, Fox Finding Life. I appreciate that. Yep. So. What do I do for a living? Well, I want to eventually be writing books and helping people to come unto Christ, like by sharing my experiences, public speaking and stuff. But right now, I've been looking for a job, and I'll be doing door-to-door sales in Chicago come May. So for the next 30-ish days, I'm just kind of preparing for that. And yeah, that's kind of what's going on. But I've done some sales. I've done some other stuff. I know British, Egyptian, Greek, and Rome history from school. That's cool. So unemployed. Yep. I'm going to be doing door-to-door in Chicago from May to August. So plan is to make 90K, which I'll just do 2 deals a day. As soon as I figure out the sale, I'm sure I'll figure it out. I'll still be doing daily live streams on here, talking about how things are going. And that's it. So, and eventually, like, I've written 2 books, and I have a 1,300 person, almost 1,300 people email list. So the plan is just keep building up my writing and stuff, and then eventually find a way to make enough from it. So right now the goal is get all that figured out by 2029. But it's just playing the long game. You made 360K in 3 months. That's impressive. Hope you enjoy it in Chicago. Thank you. Yeah, should be fun. Yeah. Yeah, we're just having a good time, hoping to share some good vibes and encourage some people. Retired at 38, that's sweet. Yeah. I've written 2 books, so I want to get more books out there. Just enjoy the single life more. I'm 29, so yeah. I'm also training for my second marathon and trying to get a 5:30 by 30, hence this water. We're doing 75 hard. I think today's like day 12 or something. But yeah, just showing up on here. Do I play on Fortnite? No, I've actually never played Fortnite. I feel like Fortnite's one of those ones with how it's designed, going along with this, with getting you to want to play more and more. I just get too sucked into it. So I actually have not played any Fortnite. And I don't plan on ever playing any Fortnite. The only time I plan on playing Fortnite is if one of my cousins or one of my sons, future kids, wanted to play with me, in which case I would. But just with the ADHD, it's easy to get super sucked into things. Yeah, I had a job. I'm unemployed 3 months. I had a job. I was working for my friend's startup. Football's fine. I mean, I NFL's fine. I more like the stories. So just to kind of like share, because we all have like different stories that all link. We've all go through different struggles, how people respond. So it's interesting. Um, Football's the best. Yeah, it's a good time. Yeah, I was working for my friend's startup, and I feel like I didn't really cherish the opportunity as much. And granted, like we had a product, it was a SaaS, but those take a while to get going. So my boss also lost his job, so he was living off of savings, and so I got let go right before Christmas. So is what it is. Um, but yeah, you play for Liverpool Academy. That's cool. Yeah, so but we go live on here just to kind of share. You can make progress every day. No worries, no stress. Just stacking up the days. I put out a weekly newsletter, and yeah, we're just chilling. I wouldn't say fired. Basically, what happened was I had a I had another job, but that was gonna offer me a job, and so my boss was like, oh, so you don't need to work here anymore, and then it's like, yeah, you don't need to work here anymore, so you can yeah, I can let you go. And I was like, well, not necessarily. I'm gonna see if this works out, and it actually didn't work out. So then I was left without a job. Don't own property. I was gonna get some of the company, but that did not happen. I guess there's still hope of that, maybe buying in, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything from him since like December. So, yeah. Congrats on reaching 1K subscribers. Thanks, Jad. I appreciate that, dude. You play on VR? That's cool. Yep. So that's me in a nutshell. We're just rock and rolling. So, you buy your first house at 18? That's wild. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah. At the rate I'm going, I could see that happening at like 32, maybe. If I like really keep getting these things more locked in. But yeah, that's way impressive. Way to go. Yep. So, what genre of music do I like? Well, I like a lot of video game music, chill hop, house, some church music, a little bit of pop. I just like a big smorgasbord of different books or different music. Same thing with books, same thing with video games. Like, if it's my vibe, it's my vibe, and I'm definitely into it, but if it's not, it's not. There's some artists I like one of their songs a lot, like Katy Perry. I really like Firework, but I don't like any of her other music because it's all usually really sexual. Uh, and I also, there's some other ones I really like. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty selective individual. So, but I want to eventually be speaking at schools, traveling, all that kind of stuff. So, cost 62K, sold after 2 years for 240K. That's wild. Yeah, it's crazy. You got it for 260K. It's crazy. What genre of books do you like? I like comics. That's cool. Yeah, I like some fantasy. I'm reading through the Brother Band Chronicles right now. Also listening to Harry Potter on Audible here and there. I like some comics too. I've read some Dogman and some other stuff, but yeah, that's mostly it. Then some church books as well. Do talk tours. Yeah, basically to help people trust Christ, have more faith in Christ, being more patient with themselves. I've written like hundreds of poems, so probably share those with people as well. So that's kind of the plan. I've been building out my movement, if you will, with my email list, and so yeah, I mean it's a long game. It'll take some time, but it's like keeping that in view. I'm gonna probably try to do like a little speaking event just around here in Utah before I head to Chicago. So that'll be like one of the first ones, but we'll see. Yeah. We're just enjoying the ride. It's like you kind of get to this point where it's like, well, things could definitely be better. But we're just doing what we can. There's no reason to compare your life to other people's or anything like that. It's like, well, if you're doing better than you were yesterday, I think that's probably pretty good. I was looking back at my journal entries from a year ago today, and I was looking at it, and I was like, yeah, we're definitely in a like overall, it's a better place. Like I had more money a year ago today, but that was because I had a job. Um, so we're just like, I think mentally and stuff, I feel generally better. Like I wasn't doing these on a daily basis a year ago, so it's fun to have that. But anyway, we're having a good time. So today, some of the wins was playing a little bit of video games and doing some writing when I woke up, and doing a little training today was good. Job helps, yeah, for sure. Yeah. So usually I try to keep these around 30 minutes. We can go longer depending on how the chat's feeling. I do have to get to doing some other stuff, but it was nice chatting with DeFox Find Life. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys have a good one. And yeah, I mean, just keep doing good stuff. It'll bring good feelings. Keep putting yourself out there. I mean, one little thought is just I don't use AI with my writing. I probably should use it for like planning or something, but I haven't used any AI for any of my writing. Um, but yeah, so you can find my newsletter if you go to my channel, and then there's a link to my Substack. So there you go. Yeah, we're just about the 40-minute mark, so I think we'll be heading out. So, but overall, today's pretty solid, pretty chill. Gonna watch the final March Madness game of a friend. But before that, I gotta get some other stuff done. So thanks for watching. God is good. Catch you later. Yeah, just keep being patient, trust the process. Have a good day. Yep, you guys have an awesome day too. I appreciate your words and your being here. The best is ahead. It's just gonna get better. And that's what this is. It's just gonna get better. Yep, God bless you too. Best is ahead. One day at a time.